What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I am fresh off the boat from Tinley, and I think the kids say something like, I'm going to spill all the tea. I'm feeling good. Stick around. I'll tell you all about it tonight. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for being here. I am your host. I'm your guest. I am your one-man entertainment for however long you stick around for. And I think you should stick around for the duration. It's good to see you guys. It was a busy week, and I did have some plans, and then they changed. I don't know if it was travel, timing, family, or what. I was going to do a Tinley wrap-up with a couple other people. One was sort of firm, and one was actually didn't know that they were going to get invited. I took for granted that person. And they were kind of like, well, you know, with a little more time, maybe we can make this work kind of deal. So have no fear. I got you covered, and I'm feeling invigorated. Actually, I was like thinking when I wanted to do the Tinley wrap up, I was like, well, I like the concept of like a panel, but then this was a neat Tinley. Like there's a lot going on, and when I have guests, I don't want to just like interject everything that I think. Like you guys come to see the guests, but so I don't know. Maybe it's a blessing that flying solo tonight. Well, I'll tell you all about it. So stick around. I have to tell you also, I got it's a little. Watch this. I got to come down just a little. There we go. I got this little setup, and the only problem that I've ever had with solo shows is representing the advertising partners. You know, and then I noticed that StreamYard has an overlay thing that you can do. And I was like, I got to figure this out. So anyway, I got the overlay, but I had to raise the camera so that I could lower my seat a little bit because my head was like up here in my normal seating. So anyway, I got to look up at the camera, trying to see the, what's it called? Trying to see the comments is a little bit tough, but I'm glad you guys are here. I'm going to try and look in the camera. I'll sneak a peek over here in the comments. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, hear about, throw at me, feel free. It's an interactive free-for-all this evening, and I'll just, you know, talk through some experiences from the weekend. So thank you all for being here. I got to see everybody in the chat. Maybe not everybody. And well, actually, I don't know. I saw James at Tinley. I don't know if I saw the School of Crop. I'm not sure who. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen you before. Glad to have you. Yeah, I was there. I saw myself. Keith, 2 eggs, man. 2 eggs with veins. I think there was 11 eggs, and 2 of them. Anyhow, that's Keith and I have one last breeding project. Anyway, Ross, what's going on, man? Ross is a fellow Minnesotan, as I am now. Those of y'all that don't know, spring has gotten drunk. It's time for spring to go home. We're under a blizzard warning this evening, but then they're not really sure if it's actually going to be a blizzard or just a hell of a lot of wind. Anyway, be safe. Chris, it was awesome to hang out with you and Abby this weekend. And Lola, it's always awesome to see you at Tinley, man. Thanks for always coming by. Thanks for always saying, hey, we got to talk about catch up with you and your family and that kind of stuff, or about you and your family. So super cool. A couple announcements with Tinley out of the way. Epic Exotic Pet Industry Conference is absolutely the star that's on the horizon right now. It'll be Friday night. That is April 5th. And if you're not aware of it, it's an online industry conference. There's over 20 speakers that will be there, and those speakers include people like Billy Rose, Adam Wickens, Brian Cusco will be there, Josh Willard, Josh's Frogs will be there. These caliber of industry leaders, and there will be various tracks, marketing, YouTube, industry, and it's kind of like an old school channel clicker. You can go to any track that you want, whenever you want. And whatever you don't get to, you'll be able to stream afterwards and see all the content. It'll be interactive. There's comments. The presenters can chat, respond, all of that kind of stuff. And it is free. All you got to do is go to epic.live. There are hundreds of people already signed up. We have a few more announcements. I am one of the producers. I'll be producing the YouTube track. I'll be hosting Brian Cusco and Adam Wickens. And there'll be a third announced here very, very shortly. And Josh Willard of Josh's Frogs will be the keynote speaker, talking about we're all one team. Conservation, great pet ownership, and great business can all go hand in hand if we all work together. So that'll be the keynote theme this year from Josh Willard at Josh's Frogs. Epic.live, that's where you want to go. You do have to sign up, but it's totally free. You get access to all the content after the fact. So whatever you miss, and you can go there live and see it as it's recorded and filmed and produced. Again, Friday night, April 5th. Check that out, okay? Next week, the other chair, the visitor chair, it will be full, and it will be full by Mr. Mark Mandick. How cool is that? Marcus Jane, legend, industry legend. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go check out marcusjane.com. If you're like me and like every other person in the industry that's ever tried to breed a ball python, you've probably seen Mark's website, because he's got like the industry standard for like when you're first starting and you're like how to breed ball pythons. I was really inspired by his website when I was building mine, because of how perpetually searchable his website is. And oh, by the way, here's an inventory of badass animals and history. The guy's been at it 25 years. Anyhow, I can't wait. I regret that it took me so long to invite him on the show. That was one of those guests that I was like, you get kind of nervous, you know. It's like the hot girl at school, you know. Anyway, Mark will be on next week, which I'm pumped to see. What's up, Chris? I'm flying solo tonight, man. Glad to have you here. Hey, speaking of the Fat Man, if you guys haven't checked it out, go check out the Deeds Not Words, not promotion. What we call it? Well, certainly a fundraiser. I'm trying to think of the right word that I'm looking for here. Go check it out. It's a fundraiser to benefit our vets. There's awesome opportunities for various levels of contribution. No amount is too small, but if you do give a certain amount, you're going to get some pretty cool stuff. I've pledged and committed to doing I think at $200, you get your own graphic custom design. Chris really worked with me on, I had some preferences, I have to say, and he was great about it. So I'm going to have a unique t-shirt. They print you your shirt, and it's great. It's going to go to a great cause. So check that out. You can check all that out at the Fat Man Nation. But the initiative, that's the word I was looking for. The initiative is called Deeds Not Words, and it's looking out for our military veterans, which is an incredible cause. So thanks for heading that up, Chris. You always do an awesome job we've worked together before, whether it was, I get the chills talking about, whether it was St. Jude's charity that we raised some money together on. And it's not something that, in one way we don't blast it out. In other ways, maybe we should just shout it to the rooftops. So anyhow, proud to be a part of it. And Chris, I will be back in touch on the rest of the design and the rest that I pledged. You could, it's out on the internet. You could book that right there, man. So thanks, brother. I hope that you're good, man. James, good to see you, man. Hey guys, check out if you knew Straight Blast Pythons, speaking of our vets, this should be looked out for. If you knew Straight Blast Pythons, they've done a great job of rebranding to Warrior Garden Exotics, and there'll be several different species, not just ball python. So it was time for a refresh and a rebrand, and Jim and Emily rolled that out this weekend at Tinley. Pretty cool. It's hard to see the comments and read the announcements and all of that kind of stuff. Special shout outs and thanks to Craig Hansen, Bash Coder. He is the driving force, the visionary behind Epic. He was also a very fun sidekick this weekend, and he provides a little sanity in a world of chaos that is Tinley. I really, really appreciate that. Robin Markland, fantastic guy, always. That's the visionary and the drive behind Redline Shipping. Fantastic hospitality. He's an amazing supporter of Proper Royals. You guys know that I am Team Redline. Desiree, a cold-blooded cafe. It's kind of neat. If you haven't been to Tinley, first you should go. Second, when you go, you should go all the way back and you should go all the way left. And in that very back corner, you will find my table, and you'll find me vending across the aisle from Cold Blooded Cafe. It's pretty cool. That was total luck. We had nothing to do with arranging that. I think they just were like, okay, you're the last ball python breeder that will ever get a table here. We'll stick you in the back corner. They never said any of that. I just got a table and I shut up and went and did my job. So, Cold Blooded Cafe, also great supporter of Proper Royals. If you don't know, you can use the promo code PROPER11 there, and you'll get 11% off of your next order of frozen rodents. And if you've used it before, it's been recently reset, so you should go give it a shot. You do have to be signed in and use your email, but you could get 11% off, which those orders of rodents aren't cheap. So that actually adds up to some pretty good money. So go give that a shot. The merch was good at Tinley. My hats were out there. I think I have pictures. Do I have pictures here to share? I forgot to grab a hat. Like, I'm a hell of a salesman, aren't I? Yeah, I don't know where my, yeah, you'll just have to see from the pictures. I'll put them on Instagram tomorrow. How did I miss that? Oh, hang on a second here. Yeah, never mind. Okay, that nothing like dead air when I'm alone. Anyway, the new hats that were a partnership collaboration with Husbandry Pro, they were a big hit. So much so of a hit. I was going to say another word. I'll just call him a rascal. It had to be a man because women don't do this crap. Somebody stole one. You wanted it so bad. I only sold like 7 hats. You think I'm not going to notice who's wearing one that I didn't sell it to or who won it at the auction? Somebody out there. Anyhow, if you'd like one, you don't have to steal it. Get in touch with me. I'll tell you how you can have it. I think shipped anywhere in the United States, it's a little steep, I admit it. It's going to be $40. So if I could bring the shipping down, I will. I'll charge whatever actual. The hat's $30, and then we'll do actual shipping. But to get the box and get it all out there. But I'm going to check in with REDLINE, see what I can do. Maybe I'll send it FedEx instead of USPS. We'll see. Anyhow, I'll post pictures on Instagram. 2 weeks. So I'll do Epic on Friday night. And then Saturday, I'll travel to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sunday, I'll be vending in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That must be the 7th then. If you're not going to be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota in 2 weeks, but you'd like to check out what I have available, properroyals.com. And then last but not least, for the announcements and the shout outs and all that good stuff. As always, a special thanks and a big hug heart emoji to my friends, the Herpin Harbins. That is Alicia and Josh. If you look in the description, you have to get it on the replay because I just realized that I was whipping this together when I realized that the guests weren't going to be able to make it. But you will see a link to the Dr. Tom Harbin scholarship fund that you can contribute to. There's a lot of really great causes out there, and a lot of people that could use our support. That scholarship is an endowed scholarship that is operated by the University of Auburn, and it is designed to never go away. These things work where the seed money is invested and then only the dividends are paid out. And even some of the dividends may be reinvested so that it grows and it grows, and that endowment grows and grows perpetually into the future. What a great cause. I get chills talking about it. What a great legacy and a way to honor and respect Dr. Tom Harbin and what he's done for our industry. And of course, show some love to the Harbins. Again, no amounts too small. You think the scholarship fund's going to say, no, we don't want your 10 or your $20, but buck up, make a little, give a little back. You know what I'm saying? Jump in there. So there you go. Enough of my soapbox pitches there. Yeah, Mark, it was good to see you there as well. I know that we filmed some content together. I look forward to seeing that come up. Let me see. Tyler says, where do you get your crested gecko racks from? I'm a ball python guy. I don't know. I got no crested gecko racks whatsoever. So I'm not real sure. But somebody in the audience will chime in. Perhaps somebody that names themselves Gecko Man will know. But Tyler, welcome. I didn't mean to call you out or make you feel bad there. I'm a ball python breeder. I'm not sure on the crested gecko racks. Crystal, good evening. I hope that you're well. Holly, how are you tonight? I think we got everybody. So let's get down to it. Tinley, I don't know why. Tinley seems to always have like a theme running through it, or like the thing that everybody's talking about. And this year it wasn't so much of that. It struck me that it felt like there's a lot of like change or opportunity in the air, or there's a new freshness to it of our industry, not just Tinley. I'll get to that in a minute, but that's kind of my theme. That's really what was like in my head when I was like, how am I going to bring this up with other guests and not just take over the conversation? And now it's easy. I can just ramble on, but I'll get to that in just a second. Everybody always likes to know, was it busy? What'd you sell? What'd you hear? So let's go through some of that. Friday felt, VIP on Friday felt a little more, contained. Maybe I've seen more people on Friday in VIP, but then again, maybe I've gotten more focused on just setting up and getting in and out of there. I had dinner reservations at 5:30, so I had to get set up. I traveled in on Friday. I had to get set up. I had to move everything, one-man show kind of deal, no problem. But I had to get out of there by like 4:15. I needed to shower, get checked into the hotel, kind of get settled, and then immediately call an Uber to get off to the steakhouse by the way, speaking of shout outs, the Patreon, the Proper Royals Patreon dinner, first semi-annual Tinley Steakhouse Patreon dinner. Yeah, we went to the Primal Cut. 10 of us hung out. It was fantastic. It was great to see everybody. So a little camaraderie within the Patreon, But Friday night at the show, or Friday afternoon, it didn't seem as crazy as usual. It felt a little bit softer, but maybe I headed out too early. Maybe I was just like too beeline focused. Maybe I had the don't bother me vibe. I just got to get going kind of vibe. I'm not sure. So not that much on Friday. Saturday, tidal wave, massive, very, very busy, just packed. It was busy from VIP at 8 in the, those of y'all that don't know, the show starts at 8 in the freaking morning. If you have any idea of how Friday night at Tinley works, 8 o'clock comes real early on Saturday at Tinley. So this camera angle looking up is throwing me off, man. I feel like I'm too short here. Maybe do something like that. Anyway, all right, I'm working on it. I got the overlay, got to take care of the advertising partners. They're here. They got their logos up there. It's good. Saturday was really, really busy. I can't speak for other people, but the number of people in the door was absolutely busy. Tinley, for me, you guys have heard me say before, I don't really bank on many sales at Tinley, and often it's just its own separate budget, like expense line on my budget, because my theory's always been, if I'm up against the other legends in the industry, and I don't include myself in that category for the record, what leverage do I have? The only leverage I would have for sales is to drop my prices. And that doesn't make sense either. I got a show in 2 weeks. I advertise here. I can buy ads, all this stuff. So I get I wouldn't say stingy. I mean, you gotta get in the game. You gotta be willing to wheel and deal and adjust prices. But I didn't torpedo any prices, and I didn't run any special pricing promos like I did in the past. So I sold 8 animals. That was pretty good. I had 2 pre-sales, so I don't really count those. So 2 pre-sales plus moved 8 animals on Saturday. Again, with no sales pricing. Now, again, I did do some wheels and, wheeling and dealing. And I'll be honest, if somebody's in the Patreon and they're paying each month and they're supporting me and telling other people about the Patreon, yeah, you're going to get a Patreon price, So we had a little bit of that. So there was some haggling, but by and large, I'm really happy with the revenue that came in. The pre-sales were good. Came home with 10 less animals. That's fantastic. I can't complain about that. And March will end up in the black and the positive this year, versus usually March is pretty well into the red. So I take that as a win. So there's my first entry into my case that change is afoot. I sold animals and I'm going to be profitable in March. That's going to be, it's going to be good. Sunday was busy. I only sold one animal very early Sunday morning. Shout out to Pete at Garden State. Oh, I feel bad. Is it pythons or reptiles or exotics? I think it's Garden State pythons. So Pete recommended an animal to one of his friends or colleagues or somebody at the show, and they took his recommendation, which was one of my breeder males. They picked up. So like, honestly, selling a breeder male is like, that's like two animals. That counts as two if you can come home with one less breeder male, right? Anyhow, all joking aside, thank you very much to Pete. Sunday, that was it for the sales. And that was at now Sunday, the show, the VIP crowd gets in there at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Thank God we start a little bit later. And then regular admission at 11. I will say VIP was busy on Sunday. Regular admission was busy, but by about 1 o'clock it had fizzled out. And the reality at a truly industry leading trade show, people are coming in with a purpose. And so some of them, here's the few scenarios. The ones that are coming in with the purpose and they're beelining it to who they want to buy from, to who they saw on Instagram, to who they might have already chatted with, figured out how to get the money. Not exactly pre-sales, but they got targets. That's the one. So there's early sales, bang, bang. Then what happens is there's kind of a lull, and then early mid-afternoon on Saturday, you start seeing another wave of sales where people have started to make their way all the way around the room. Can you imagine how difficult it is at Tinley to see an animal, but know that it's like scrolling through channels on TV. You see something that's perfectly good to watch, and you're like, let me see what else is on. And then you end up watching nothing, right? So people do that all day long. Like, man, that's amazing. I got to see the whole place. Man, that's amazing. I got to see the whole place. So that happens, but they start making up their mind. They get tired. They get fatigued. They still got the money in their pocket. They make their sales. Then there's the Sunday morning crowd, the people that maybe didn't pull the trigger on Saturday, but after thinking it through, slept on it. They're like, you know what? I got to get that. And then the rest of Sunday for me was just sort of, hey, what do you want to do this afternoon? I don't know. What do you want to do? There's this reptile thing in town. Yeah, that might be cool. Oh, it was cool. We did that a couple of years ago. Let's go check it out. It's sort of an event. So it's really, really great for the promoters. You can meet good people. You can plant the seeds. You can, there will be somebody that calls me and goes, hey, I met you at Tinley a couple weeks or a month ago. Can you help me out? Or I'm looking for information on this, or, I want to buy a ball python. So there was that kind of scene on Sunday, but Sunday really was kind of chill. And that's typically how it is. Crazy idea. I went kind of hard on Friday night. And then for some reason I woke up after 4 hours and could never get back to sleep. So Saturday night, I went to bed I think I was asleep by midnight, which is pretty early by Tinley Saturday night terms. So Sunday, I'd gotten 7.5 hours of sleep. I was walking on sunshine. Sunday flew by. I'm going to try this new theory out where I get a little bit of sleep on Sunday night or on Saturday night, so that Sunday is usually pretty miserable. It slows down. The sales slow down. You might be a little tired. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little bit more difficult. It's a little difficult to get by on Sunday. I liked it. A little change might do me some good, So that was Sunday. Best animals I saw at the show. Now I'll admit, I'm a one-man show vending in March, so I don't get a chance to go around and see a whole lot of animals. And it's so much, there's so much real estate to cover at Tinley. To this day, there's when you first come in, if you go to the right, it's not a separate room, I don't think. Maybe it is. There's a separate area over there. I've never been there. I've never even looked over there. And I think I'm up to 5 or 6 Tinleys now. Never been over there. So I don't see all the animals, but the two that I saw that really stuck out to me, lots of beautiful animals, but the ones that I was like, oh, that's new and that's pretty crazy. Ultramel Sunset by Justin at Morph Jungle, not the other Justin. Justin Weinrich, I believe his name is. And Justin's one of the guys from down in Florida that I was going to say we were kind of coming up together. Clearly, he has jumped out ahead of me. Maybe he started ahead of me, but it's I've not been a big fan of Sunset. I have to admit it. I've been sort of a Sunset skeptic. Ultramel Sunset, pretty solid, man. I got to say that was a great animal. Those of y'all that went, let me know if you saw any of these animals or what your favorite thing was that you saw there. The other thing that was really incredible and a really neat story was Jeremy Baud's likely tornado or borderline tornado. This is a gene that popped up in his collection that is visually identical to tornado. And there are, let me just say, there are believers out there. And I'll just have to leave it at that because there were private conversations that I was made privy to. Let's just say interest is high in that animal. Okay. Anyhow, it was a really great looking animal. I'm excited to see what he does with it. It's pretty wild, and tornado is pretty fitting name. Like it really does kind of remind me of like the poster for Twister or what you see, happen on movies with tornadoes and stuff. So it's just a really crazy jumbled pattern and a pretty cool snake. So it was cool to see those two in person. I'd heard about both of those, but obviously had not ever seen them before. Those were probably my two favorites. The other like neat, crazy thing that I saw was Sundown Reptiles. I believe Brian is the name. If you get a chance to, I don't know, on their Instagram, maybe they show it. Brian has this beautiful looking, backdrop, and I'm always looking at how things are laid out. And it's like it's like the fabric one that a lot of people have. I actually have the pop-up ones that are the banners, and I have a few of those that are nice and modular for my needs. He had one of the fabric ones, but his was LED backlit, and most of it was pretty dark, but his logos were in like a lighter color, so they really stood out with the backlighting. And then it's called Sundown Reptiles, and his logo is a silhouette of the sun just about to go behind the mountain. And it was pure white with the LED shining through it. Oh, chef's kiss, man. That was beautiful. I got to look up how to get one of those. Now it was massive. I would say that thing was easily 8x8, but I think it might've been either 8x10 or 10x10. Which is just way too big. I use the modular banners because sometimes I've ended with one table, sometimes with two, and I have done a couple shows with 3 tables. So I like having my banners that I can place strategically depending on where the front of the room is. I can highlight them, all that kind of stuff. But I got to look into that. And he didn't know the company. He just said Google backlit, LED backlit, like trade show banner or whatever. Oh, primo, fantastic job. So that was one of the best things I'd seen there. Dale says, yeah, Ultramel Sunset is incredible. Yeah, it really was. Like I say, I've been a sunset skeptic. That was a really great example. That was, the only one that I've seen. Dale says Justin's might be the best that I've seen. That's the only one I've ever seen. I'm sure, Dale, you know of several others in existence, or maybe all the others in existence, but I haven't seen them. It's really cool. And he had another one that I think it wasn't Ultramel Sunset, but I think it was GHI Sunset. That thing looked pretty good too. And maybe it was Pastel GHI. I'm not sure. Anyway, it was right next to it on the display. That was a banging snake too for again, something that I'm not too up on by very much with the Sunset. So look, it just goes to show you just need the right combo, and it's going to revive things, and it's going to keep people excited. You know, what's going on, Paul? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Welcome, Snake Loop Reptiles. I've not seen you before. Glad to have you tonight. And we got Phil, What's Miner. How's it going, man? Guys, it's me flying solo tonight. If you have any questions, topics, burning thoughts, you want to try and roast me, okay, fine. I could control the chat. No, I'm joking. Anyhow, let me know. I'll do my best to get to it. So that was kind of the overview of what I saw. If you're just joining, I've mentioned a couple times, kind of my theme of the show was that there was it felt like there was change in the air. It felt like an invigorating, exciting time. It feels a little uncertain. I don't know what's changing. I'll tell you about some of the examples. But it for me, change and a little bit of chaos is always a time of opportunity. So I'm going to tell you about that. Let's pay some bills really fast. Look, guys, I ship with REDLINE Shipping. I think that you should too. They're got the best support team in the game. Those are reptile keepers that are looking out for reptile keepers. They are looking out for your animals. The collective industry experience is unrivaled. Their service is unrivaled. You get to talk to a human directly. Their phone number is right on their website. You don't have to go, hoping you can find somebody to talk to. If you need help with temps, if you need help understanding how to use heat packs or phase packs, if you need help understanding when to use it, somebody asked earlier where to get gecko racks. If you need to know how to ship a gecko, or if, how you're going to move an animal across the country, they will help you out. They got all your supplies as well. And you can use the promo code PROPER5 for an extra $5 off your shipping label. Shedtesting.com. Speaking of industry experience and knowledge and know-how and care, that is Charlie at shedtesting.com. Over 32 genetic traits that can be tested for. If you don't know what shed testing is, that's okay. If you're new to the industry, you could take the shed from your snake, your ball python, see if it has one of the genes. If, say, you bought it as a possible het clown, send the shed off to Charlie. He's going to tell you, and he just lowered all of his prices. This is no part of the bonus, no part of the discount or the promo code. All of his prices, he just lowered by 20%. Single gene tests are $40. If you want to test for a second gene on the same animal, that's only $20. So that is a 20% discount from where his prices were just a couple of weeks ago. And on top of that, you can still use the promo code PROPER15 for 15% off of your next 2 orders. In fairness, I don't know how long that will last. I can't expect Charlie to give the farm away. He's doing great things for the industry. Go support the man. If you want to check out some of the genes available, VPI is Anthic, Wookiee, Sunset, Clown, Puzzle, Ultramel, Zebra, and more, all of the Yellow Belly complex. And don't be afraid to ask Charlie if he has any data, insight, or tests ready to go for a gene you don't see listed. He is researching and developing tests all the time. And truth be told, I've had an experience where somebody asked me, does he have this test? I just asked him on a flyer. I said, let me see. And he goes, oh yeah, I don't list it on there because nobody ever asked for it, but yeah, I've got it. So check with him if there's something that you're looking for. Okay. Simplify your genetic identification with shedtesting.com. Next is Portuguese pythons. That's Danny and Renee Rocha out in Chino, California. Another group of great people doing really great things for the industry. You want to talk about some beautiful snakes? Go check out what they've got. Projects like Sunset Hypo combos and ingredients, Ultramel puzzles, Ultramel clown ingredients with dark genes like Blackhead, Het Red Xanthic, and GHI. All of my Ultramel pied ingredients in my project, I think I'm up to 7 or something, have all come from them. Beautiful snakes, beautiful opportunities on the horizon. Go check out their morph market. It is loaded right now. They just have re-upped it. Their season's on a little bit of a weird timing. So theirs is just now being fully updated with hatchlings. Go check them out on Morph Market. Ball Labs is Trevor in Aurora, Colorado. Trevor is focusing on high-end genes and some forgotten classics. Like, let's not forget that there are lots of genes out there that maybe people think have cycled through and haven't done anything with lately. Just wait till it's just the right combo again. But he's working with things like Puzzle, Ultramel, Clown, VPI Xanthic, Tri-Stripe, Monsoon, Zebra, and Sunset as well. Special mention, one of the things that I really like as a great example for Trevor is that he is a registered, inspected, and approved, licensed, I believe is the word, rodent breeder in Colorado. If you breed rodents and intend to sell them, you are technically required to be licensed and inspected. And he's one of like less than 10. And I don't think that stuff happens in a vacuum. If he runs his rodent operation and business that way, I know that flows down into how he runs his reptile business. Fun guy to hang out with. I'll hang out with him next week and next month at the AARPE show out in Denver. And you can also catch him on his new podcast, Breeder Underground. So check that out. All of that can be found on his Instagram page, Ball Labs. Last but not least is Chris at B and S Reptilia, the original sponsor of Proper Royals, and now business partner. And he vends with me in October at Tinley. And we've made some investments together on some animals as well. Chris is Reptilia because he has ball pythons, blood pythons, locality boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, pituophis, if you know what that means. And he will have all the proper paperwork, licenses, education that you need in October if you want to pick up any pine or bull snakes and you want to make sure that you do it legally. And Chris wants to make sure that he sells it to you legally. So he is all on the up and up on that. Chris is also the regional shipper of the Chipper Cocoa. If he can help you in the Pennsylvania area, get in touch with him. If you are interested in becoming a regional distributor of the Chipper, get in touch with him. He can help you on that as well. Thank you all. All of that will be in the description down below. It is not there yet. I will have that updated immediately after the show. Those of you all that sat through the promos, you are the ones that will inherit the earth. You are the good people. Support them, but thank you all very much, audience. I appreciate you. The theme of like change in the air. When you first walk into Tinley, the first thing I noticed this year was you're in the lobby and then you walk into the main room. Immediately, there's this big pavilion and almost lounge setting for Palm Street. And full disclosure, I work with Palm Street. I don't have any official affiliation with Palm Street. I use the platform and I sell on Palm Street and I enjoy the platform. And I think I was the first official or allowed. I know a few ball pythons were sold before then, but I was the first one that was like approved to sell ball pythons. And what a cool thing to see them there. And I think here's the thing. This isn't a pitch for Palm Street, although, again, I definitely recommend it, and I like what they're doing. To get the entry pavilion at Tinley, that requires some cash, but also, like, we all know business owners have an opportunity to say who they want to do business with. Advertisers, I do get approached for advertising opportunities, and I may or may not have space, but I got to make sure it's the right fit with, we want to make sure that brand visions align, character. Are you going to be around for a while? I don't want to go through the work to align with somebody and then have them gone in a month kind of deal. And I don't know what the equivalent is for NARBC, but I could tell you that they had to have been vetted. There has to be a commitment and an investment to the industry. And how cool. So big change there. Right next to them, Chewy.com. Something's going on. Something is afoot. And this is cool. Hear me out on this. If Chewy sees the reptile industry and the reptile pet market as an untapped opportunity, there are about to be a bazillion eyes on our industry. Let me give you some. Can't call them facts. Let me give you some numbers as I understand them to be true. So take it for what you will. My understanding is that Chewy is getting in the tens of millions, like 20 million unique viewers and eyes and unique visitors to their website every month. 20 million unique IP addresses. Now, okay, few people might have the same devices and they're going on their phone. Okay, let's say every person has 2 different IP addresses. That's still 10 million. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the angle is. I don't claim to know. I have no idea. There's some things I know about, and I'll tell you if I know about them. I don't know on this. what I do know is there they were, front and center. All of a sudden, Chewy is very interested in being associated with and recognized at the the reptile industry show. Adam Wickens is working very closely with Chewy. I don't want to speculate or proclaim something that isn't true, so I'll leave it there. But their ads are on his content. He's doing content with them, for them, whatever their relationship is. These are big things. Let me tell you, I've tried to get, actually, I haven't tried to get Adam Wickens to promote anything for me. That's not true to say. I haven't tried because I know what the squeeze on that juice is going to cost, so to speak. And I ain't got it. My pockets are not that deep. So they're not related either. I don't believe that Palm Street and Chewy are doing anything together. Again, if they are, I don't know. They might be, but I don't know that to be the case. But very, very interesting. Lots of money coming in and exposure coming in from Palm Street. I have to assume lots of investment or heavy flirting coming from Chewy. And Chewy is incredibly powerful. This is an exciting thing. This is an exciting development because we always talk about growing the industry, bringing new eyes to the industry. Seeing somebody like Chewy participating in, I don't know, what's the expression, our Super Bowl, our, grandest stage, however you want to call it. That was pretty neat. That was pretty cool to see. I don't know what they're up to. I don't know what the angle is. But I gotta think if Chewy is a pet market kind of company, I know some snakes that make really, really great pets that we talk about the pet market a lot. This could be a whole lot of new eyes. And sure, we collectively roll our eyes at the pet market. I get it. But the pet market is where it starts. Okay. The pet market is where that one person that wants to buy a banana or a bell finds out that $100, $200, $300 animal they bought is neat, but whoa, what the hell is that $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 animal over there? It brings them to the shows. I think it brings credibility to our industry. I think it is. I think it's fantastic. I don't know where it's going to lead to. I don't know what it's going to do, but I can't imagine that Chewy invested that time and money to make their presence known without some sort of plan to really engage and to really put a spotlight on the industry. They see and feel that there has to be money worthwhile and investment to be made there. Or profits to be made from investment. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to keep a close eye on that. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm very, very intrigued and I'm very excited about it. That's one of the biggest opportunities for fresh. Usually the eyes that are put on us are, a dude gets bit by a venomous snake because he's free handling, or, whatever our reptile version of Tiger King is, or some of the tragic things that have happened in the past that make the news. We can all think of those things. So I'm loving this. I don't know what they're going to do. I will keep an eye on it. And I'll be checking out Chewy for sure. And I get my rodent food from them. And again, I'm not affiliated. I would be interested in being affiliated with Chewy. I am not, but I do get my Kalmbach rodent food delivered directly to my door on an auto ship. It's fantastic. So that was pretty neat to see there. The other thing, when I see and say change felt like it was afoot, some really iconic people told me that they're done. They're out. I don't know if they've announced it. I'm not going to put words in their mouths or take their thunder. It didn't feel like a private conversation. It was in a public setting, but I never know that. And that's not my place to announce that of somebody, but I was really, really surprised to hear that. They also said it was their most profitable Tinley ever as they're selling out their ball pythons. Now they're going to pivot to other species. So it wasn't and it actually, the more I talked to them about it, it wasn't so much a knock on ball pythons as it was, hey, we've made a lot of money. We've done this for a long time. We want to be able to go have a life and a vacation, and we just need some lower maintenance animals, and they're out there. So I'll leave it at that. But that was interesting, and I heard that explicitly at Tinley, but I've been seeing other people too that are just like, it's run its course. I'm out. I'm wrapping it up. All this change equals opportunity. This one really, really boggles my mind because I don't know what to make of it. But the other change I see happening is there's an economic shift happening, and I can't make heads or tails of it. Some people are thrilled with it. Some people are terrified of it. The market is down. We're either in or flirting with correction territory. We're being told on all fronts to brace for a recession. And I know I'm tiptoeing dangerously close to politics. I don't want to get into that. I don't care for that conversation. I'm just trying to state some facts here. But there was a lot of money flying around in the room at Tinley. Again, I won't say who. It's not my business to share that. There were some six-figure, like $100,000, the definition of six-figure, offers being made, and those offers were being declined. None to me. I didn't turn down any six-figure offers. Anybody that wants to, you know where to find me. That all is an odd change. So we've come from a time where we heard the economy was rough and it was bad, but sort of the stock market was performing well, and I think Main Street was suffering. I don't know if Main Street is suffering any less, or maybe it's just tax season, or maybe it takes a little. I don't know. It's a crazy, chaotic time. I go through all that to say, though, in times of chaos, people that can see past the immediate concerns and also that have the resources to see past the immediate concerns, there is massive opportunity. Let me give you a couple examples. 1987, the stock market crashes. Nasty, nasty crash. I remember it vividly as a 7-year-old because my father lost a ton of money that day. The impulse is to go, I'm done, I'm out, sell it all. I don't want any more of this. And those people lost all that money because they left, they got out. And what inevitably happened, it came up, it went back, it rebounded, and it rebounds higher than where the start of the crash was. 2008, interesting story here. August 2008, I buy my first house because I think that the market is at its dip. It had dipped. The outlook wasn't that great. I thought we had gone through it. It had already been a rough, 6, 8, 10 months. And I figured we were coming up out of it. And no sooner do I close on that house than the 2009 just crashed. The Great Recession, they called it. That happened. I was too poor to even sell my house. I was too broke to take the loss on the house. I would have had to declare bankruptcy to sell that house. And here's the example. I never, ever thought I would be a landlord or have the ability to own a house that I rented to another person because I want to have my own house. But being forced to find an answer, not to lose that house and not to default into bankruptcy, led to me moving in with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, us renting that house, actually making enough on rent to cheapen our own rent. And we got to keep the house and the asset. Year and a half ago, September or August of 2023, we sell that house. It funds the complete move to Minnesota and nearly bought every bit of this house, which allowed me to buy the car wash that I bought to turn into my own business. In times of chaos, there's opportunity if you could see through the immediate craziness. And I feel like that's one of these times. Like I don't have a whole lot of cash on hand because I just bought that dang car wash. But if I did have cash on hand, I'd be looking for deals. I'd be looking for ways to invest for when times are really more stable. I don't even know if they're going to be good or bad. It's just unstable right now. It's just a little bit chaotic is what I think. So anyway, that's my pitch for the change that is out there. What's up, Jeremy? I'm glad. I hope you got home safely without any issues or mayhem or anything like that. It was great to see you and Jeannie and to hang out. Yeah, Quentin's got a little. I saw that you sent an ovulation picture. Yeah, I hope you got those babies on the way there. So this feeling of change, I don't know if you guys see any of it or if you've had any time to think of it, but it really struck me. It just felt like a theme through everything that was going on. Craig, what's going on, man? It's good to see you. You know what? This is a perfect time. I've been talking about it all night. Why don't let's hear it from the man himself for 1 second here. I'll be right back.
It's called EPIC, the Exotic Pet Industry Conference, and it's free to register at epic.live. EPIC is over 20 special guests across 16 sessions covering industry trends, marketing, branding, podcasting, and YouTube. EPIC is for pet keepers and breeders. It's for gecko and invert lovers. It's for snake and spider lovers. EPIC is for anyone who enjoys these amazing animals. Did I mention it's free? Register now at epic.live.
It's free. Go check it out. Yeah, Dale, this is, we bought our first house in 2007 and also had to rent it out for years because we outgrew it in 2 years and it wasn't worth anything for years. These assets, life goes by. Things are, there's ups, there's downs. Don't panic. Keep your head about you. Keep your vision way, way past what's immediately in front of you. Keep making the right moves and the right decisions. I think this is a great time of opportunity. I think that there's going to be, I think there's going to be an opportunity to buy some amazing animals at the very high end that are going to come down. I think, I like to say, I don't know what Chewy's up to, but they're up to something, and in a good way. I'm excited about it. They're going to bring eyes to our industry. You don't dump a whole bunch of money just for charity. And when I say a whole bunch, it had to be 5 figures, which isn't that much maybe for Chewy. But they also didn't get all that money by just wasting it. So they see something in the reptile industry. And of course, they're a pet company. So it's going to bring a whole lot of ground level eyes to our industry. So something's going to go. I mean, somebody somewhere is going to feel pain from what's going on in like the stock market, the big market that might not trickle down to Main Street. But some of those folks are going to go, man, I don't have time to screw around with ball pythons anymore. My money is just evaporating. It's gone. So I think there's going to be opportunity with that. I think Chewy is bringing new eyes with whatever that they're up to. Palm Street. Let me go back to Palm Street for a minute. Palm Street, again, I like Palm Street. I use Palm Street. I will be doing actually a Palm Street auction in the next 2 weeks or so, not because I promised anybody anything, but because I have found a valuable place in my business for Palm Street. What I thought was great at Tinley was how intently they were listening to the feedback. There's a pricing cost and expense challenge to Palm Street above a certain price point for ball pythons. The gecko people are killing it on Palm Street because most geckos are beneath that price point. So they could do this massive volume where it makes sense for them. And none of the other platforms I mean, it's just as lucrative or more lucrative than the other platforms. We live in a world of content, interactive content, live content. Palm Street has figured out the concept of live interactive reptile sales content, and they've proven it with their plants. They're smashing it with their plants. That's why they even have the money to invest in reptiles. They've got a great proof of concept in our industry with the geckos. If it's just numbers and math to figure out, like I don't know if it's Silicon Valley technically, but they're a North California company. The whole culture in that area, tech-wise, is raising money that makes sense in a way that will return profit, and they'll figure out the numbers. So anyhow, keep an eye on those things. Keep an eye on the opportunity, the change, Palm Street, Chewy, the overall market, the economic market. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's a weird time. but don't freak out. Nothing is as good or as bad as it ever seems. Just keep it going, keep an even keel, and you'll get through it. You're going to see it through and make smart moves along the way. The last thing I noticed about Tinley, everybody is doing content. Man, content is the new norm. And let me be very clear. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't be doing it. I'm not saying somebody else shouldn't start their own podcast. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying it is everywhere. I don't know how. I'm wrestling. This is the pressure that's going to cause me to innovate. It's going to eventually cause me to get really, really creative, because I'm not the guy experimenting or figuring out something new anymore. When I'm doing this podcast stuff is now normal. It's everywhere. I'm going to have to figure out how to stand out. It's going to cause me to get, again, innovative and creative. And there's two things that you could do when the ball python market gets crowded: stay the course, stay innovative, stay creative, or complain that the market crashed and quit. I'm not doing the second of that. And that's what's happening with content, and specifically with podcasts, but the live content that's creative out there. I'm hearing some new creative ideas. Just this weekend, I had two people separate that one I've never spoken to. I don't know who they are, matter of fact. And the other I speak to often, but I hadn't heard of it. But two people pitch like interactive, almost like game shows in the reptile industry. Cool. That's a lot of work, but cool. Go do it. I'm interested to see where it leads, and it's got my mind churning on what I want to do and what some goals are for the future. So those are my thoughts this week. What's cooking in your head on any of these topics? Or if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you missed the announcement earlier, Mark Mandic from Marcus Jane will be the guest next week. I got a little list, you know what I'm saying? Like who am I going to eventually get on here one day, one way or another? And I never asked him. And of course, the second I asked him, he's like, yeah. And I couldn't believe it. He was watching. He's like, yeah, you do great stuff, Adam. I'd love to come on your show. I'm like, holy cow. He knows. Okay. So anyway, Mark will be on next week. I will have myself together. I won't be gushing like a little girl. But Mark will be on next week. Yeah, Jeremy, good evening. You are super late to the show. I'm actually in the wrap up unless I get some intriguing questions real quick. Charlie, how you doing tonight? We missed you at Tinley. Hope to see you in October. Actually, I hope to see you on some of the stops down the road too. I don't know where you'll be traveling or promoting at. Speaking of traveling and promoting, late April, I will be at the All-American Reptile Plant Expo in Castle Rock, Colorado, just outside of Denver. I believe that's the weekend of the 27th. I'll be there with Redline Shipping. And then it's looking like I'm not 100% sure, looking like I will be in Nashville as well for the AARP show. And that's in May. I think it's only 2 or 3 weeks later. They're doing them bang, bang, back to back. Oh, that's the other kind of big change I'm seeing. The chatter was definitely Tinley, but also Southeast Reptile Expo, Bob's show, and AARPE, All-American Reptile Plant Expo. That is Troy and Lisa from Best Dressed Balls, and Nick and Lauren Sloan from, I think it's Sloan Reptiles, but there's also a Sloan Exotics. And those guys are putting on great shows. It was the talk of Tinley. There was Tinley, there was the animals, but there was everybody was still on a high coming off of Bob's show, Southeast Reptile Expo, and everybody was talking about the next AARPE show. So those are great brands too. They're great representations of our industry. I've long felt that our industry suffered the way that, say, the marijuana culture of the 80s and 90s did. The perception was that it was just these, stoner kids. And clearly they have crushed that industry. They cleaned up the perception of it. They got people to take them seriously, and they are making fortune. People are making many, many fortunes in the marijuana world now. And I think that there is an analogy to be drawn of how reptile keepers are perceived, who we really are, what money is available to be made, and the reach that we can have, and cleaning up and making our brand, sort of collective brand as an industry, more legitimate. These guys are adding to it. It's a really cool time. Really, really cool things happening. Oh, you got a barbecue date, Jeremy, on June 21st. I thought you were going to back it off till September, man. June 21. All right. Let me see what I can get done here, man. It's the first I'm hearing of it. Breaking news. You guys heard it first right here. Proper Royals Live. Okay. Always fun. Jeremy, if I could be there, I will. Maybe June 21st won't be so hot as July has always been. My God, it's hot when we've been at your house before, man. So always a good time. If I don't know how people get invited or are welcomed there or whatever it is, but guys, if you get a chance to go to Jeremy's event, it's, in my opinion, it's become iconic, but it's certainly a regional icon, and such great hosts, really, really great camaraderie. Phil and I usually play quite a lot of music, even through the heat. So anyway, go check that out if you get a chance. Jeremy 99 says, well, there's a little lag tonight. As someone pretty new, I feel like the industry needs some kind of new age type feel to it somehow. Yeah, it feels that way. I've been at it, 5 years now from an industry standpoint, as a pet owner, a bit longer, but from looking at it through the eyes as an industry, there's neat stuff happening, but honestly, it happens a lot. We didn't even have viable shed testing 2 years ago. It's unbelievable. That's like doing research before Google, but that was just the other day. It feels like that we didn't have shed testing. So these things move fast. Our industry is highly investable, and it's a great time to be in it. I'm excited to be positioned where I'm at, and I cannot wait to see what's right around the corner. I think I'll leave it at that. 30 of y'all are still hanging out. Thank you so much. I know it's cheesy, but if you don't mind, give a little thumbs up, give a little like. If you haven't subscribed and you like what you hear, I'd love to have you back. Come check it out. Click all that good stuff. It does make a difference. Advertisers, thank you so much. But audience, most importantly, thank you all so much. Stay cool. I'm back next week with Mark Mandick from Marcus Jane. I'm pretty pumped about it. Be sure to be here. I will absolutely be promoting it between now and then. Don't forget to register for Epic. Go to epic.live. It is free. We're down to 2 weeks. The time is running out. Hundreds of people have already registered. And no, for you smartasses, I'm not talking like 120, like hundreds, several hundreds. It's good. Check it out. It's free. These are the people that we look up to. We're making it a conference so you don't have to travel to. It's accessible. It's free. Even if you can't be there live, you'll be able to access all the content afterwards. There you go. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I really, really appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you all over the socials and all that good stuff. Proper Royals, everywhere that you can find me on the socials. That's what the name is. Cheers, guys.